I don't even be like rapping for real. It'd be like just God rapping through me. Like I'm just here, my mouth would just be moving, fam.
I'm a rapper. I grew up like freestyling my friends, freestyling my homies. Like, it's part of the culture.
I started rapping by freestyling.
I freestyle all the time.
I love freestyling. I feel like that's the proof of an MC having a true command of his instrument.
The whole idea of freestyling is being spontaneous. I mean, you can be spontaneous in the studio or in front of your computer with whatever you try to do, but you know, with off-the-head freestyles, you don't get the chance to go back and edit it and make sure that it's tight.
I don't like to leave anything up to chance. I don't like to try and accidentally have my best performance. I try and like plan it out so it's like, this is exactly how it's gonna go, and the closer I get to that, the closest it's gonna be to my like best performance.
That's a great way of putting it, man.
I'm scared of freestyling, which is precisely why it's important. Because when you're in the studio, when you're creating, there's an element of freestyle. That's what creation is.
We're gonna do a freestyle now. So I need your help. I want everybody here to take something out of their pocket. I don't care, whatever you got, hold it up. Here we go, y'all. Yeah. Keep them up, Yo, when I say freestyle, you say freestyle. Freestyle. When I say freestyle, you say freestyle. Yeah, freestyle off the top and I keep it longer. He's got the keys, that means he's a designated driver. Yeah, pants never sagging. I see my man here, he's driving a Volkswagen. Yeah, when I rap, I keep it clapping. DE4, what's happening? Oh, let me turn it around. Oh, my bad, I had the letters upside down. Now it looks like DM and a squiggle. Sorry, I dropped that. Move just a little. And the place to be, yo, spit the rilla. Yeah, sip it down like a nice can of Pilsner. Yeah.
When do you think it's important for an artist to freestyle?
I think like if I run into Kanye on the street or like DJ Khaled on the street and like I need to rap, then I think then is important. Or like you have just have 16 bars in your head just ready to go. You don't have nothing on you. You have no data. You can't get your SoundCloud open. You have to freestyle. Then it's important to freestyle because like you need to give him something, right?
To me, freestyle comes in a bunch of different definitions. First, you have what they started calling freestyles was you have a written verse and you bring it to the cypher and spit it on a beat that you never wrote it to. And it's not really about one particular thing. And that's how they started calling freestyle in the 80s.
You know, there's people who battle freestyling every day and, you know what I mean, probably go into a freestyle league and eat that up and da-da-da. And there's people who are trying to become successful artists, you know what I mean, and become, like, do commercial numbers and they're putting songs together and albums.
You could also say, you know, this is a freestyle about, you know, something not in particular. So it's just more of a, there's no topic. Just talk about yourself and your girl. Yeah, how dope you are and shit like that.
The two sides reflect like hip hop as far as like where it's gone as like a culture, you know? You have people who still maintain, still freestyle and battle, but like hip hop is like, there's people who do songs and albums and all that type of stuff now too. So it's just the two schools of thought are just reflective of those two realities of what's going on in hip hop and stuff, you know?
When I was touring with Master Ace, we actually had a really good conversation about this because I brought it up and I was like, can you tell me something, man? Why every time I watch something that's going on in the States, they're like, oh, yo, this guy's gonna kick a freestyle, and you know it's written. And Ace was like, well, wait a second, let me break it down for you. When it first started, you would have raps that are written that are called freestyles because it doesn't have to be about any one topic. It's not stuck inside a song, and it's something that you could have memorized and pull it out on the spot and actually use whenever it is that someone says, yo, kick a freestyle. So it wasn't always off the head, so there's a difference between kicking a freestyle and kicking it off the head. And I needed to have that conversation with him because all of us out here are like, yo, those guys ain't freestyling, but that's, you know what I'm saying? You had to understand why they called it that in the first place, you know what I mean?
When I was younger, I was like, oh, it's written, you so fake, blah, 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 get out of here, you bougie. I think now the terminology of freestyle has now changed to like something I've privately prepared in like my own quarters that I will now like display and show you like, this is kind of the best of what I have like in my little closet. You get a much better assessment of like how good the individual you're listening to actually is. But if you're looking for like a true, like, I'm gonna look at something like a Sway interview for like 2 minutes and I really wanna see like, is it somebody I wanna go and listen to? Then I probably prefer if it's written, you know what I mean?
Your bars speak for themselves.
Yeah.
I dropped your thought, they thought I couldn't rap. I find it kinda odd. I got the driving, plus my brakes is broken, ain't no trying to stop. And boy, my fire squad is twice as hard as your entire mob, and I apologize, it's kinda hard to compete. I'm too elite, mixed with a scholar and a god of the streets. My mama proud of me, I'm running towards my college degree, rather than running from police who love the sound of the heat. Blah! I went on Sway and like I freestyle a little bit, but mostly it was like written shit or like stuff that I had, like I put together, like different bars, you know what I'm saying? Or like, to me, that's still kind of like freestyle, you know what I'm saying? Like being able to go through this timeline in your mind and be like, damn, this from this verse fits here, and like this fits here, and like the point that I'm trying to make here will go along with this, so let me add this here, and like let me add a little freestyle here, and like, yeah, I do like a little off the top shit for sure.
I'm not somebody who freestyles because it takes a fucking lot. Like, it's not the same as making a track. Like, there's an art to it.
Man, I can't freestyle worth a shit. Just in my room and stuff like that, but I'm so nervous to do it in front of people.
I dabble with a little freestyle every now and then, and it's fun.
If I'm drunk, maybe like I can get a couple bars off, but like I'm not a good freestyler.
For sure. I think everyone freestyles.
I don't freestyle, and I never really have.
If I'm like in the studio, I like freestyle like all my music.
The ability to be able to have like the most crazy like multi-syllable flow, or being able to put a clever, super clever rhyme together, you know, that like it's something that as an artist like you don't usually take into consideration a lot when you're doing like a mainstream push or when you're trying to make a hot song.
I enjoy the process of writing. That is where, you know, the thrill comes for me. I enjoy editing and, you know, playing with different words and taking things out, and like that whole process is amazing to me.
I think once you really get more refined with the pen and you get into more actual songwriting, the value of the freestyle is more rhythmic. I find like gibberish freestyling helps me a lot with patterns and like even arrangements, melodies, everything.
I think freestyling, when you're doing it, it's kind of exposing yourself more so than writing.
It's more vulnerable.
Yeah, it definitely is, yeah, because there's no safety net. And I think it's definitely like the essence of where the art form started, so it'll always have a place.
You could be a classically trained musician that relies on sheet music, or you could be a musician that could understand the key and just participate in the song. I need to be able to jump in on the song too. I want to express musically in those moments that are priceless, you know?
There's something distinctively powerful about that first feeling you get when you hear a beat. Before I even think about it, I'll go in the booth and I'll just like freestyle the whole song. And then all I gotta do is go back, see what parts of it I like. Like a lot of the time I'd even just be mumbling melodies or something like that, but then filling the words afterwards.
Freestyling is something I think it takes a lot of practice. I think it takes a lot of experience. I think the more experience you have in life, the more content you can just pull from the universe. And again, as I'm getting older, that's something I noticed. I can pull things from the universe and talk about it in ways I never could this time last year.
And there's been many a cypher where I said things that will never make it to paper because it belongs to that moment.
Yo, I'm the tits, man. That's Selma Hayek in spin class. I been bad as Beyonce back in the Pink Panther. I don't think I ever seen bad. I might have hit that or hit that. What up, girl? I might have hit that. She started ski shooting, surprised at how much I dig that. The kickback like the Super Bowl with the six-pack. So thank the stars for my mom, my meds for this. Had homies cutting their wrists when I was cutting my wristbands. Son of these rappers till their world revolve around me. But I'm curry how I handle those, so swipe and get your ankle broke. You got a Frankenstein style and a Franklin flow. Somebody tell Donnie Darko to leave Frank alone. God flow, BBRC, that's the squad go. Blondro, pulling on it like a lawnmower. John Bonham with those Scotch bonnet bongos. Classic beatdowns, Mortal Kombat combos. Damn, I'm smoking Batman. No. I'm with you, Wonder Woman. Don't hand me the gun, cause I haven't begun to start handling all of this. Hand me the drum, I go ham, I go dumb, I go da-da-da-da-da-da. R-O-S-H-I-N, that's who I am. Somewhere past Orion, know the passers-by are passing by. You were supposed to pop, you ain't popping. You could pass for mine, now you're past your prime, passing time, trying to pacify him. Damn, the best rapper's a step ladder. Give him best actor, he break your heart for the X Factor. I wrote the test backwards, blindfolded with the stress fracture, just so you could put it in my press package. Yo, BBRC.
Give it up, Toronto, make some noise, make some noise, make some noise.
How important is freestyle in what you do as a rapper?
In the formative years, like super important. I mean, like that's a lot of like where your stage presence comes from. That's a lot of where being comfortable socially comes from as a rapper and shit, and being able to own that is a big deal. Plus, if you're in high school and you want to get into a party and it's from another school and you can rap, you're in that party. And that actually goes down, so that's dope.
Whether it's off the top or written already in your head and you just want to do it live, it's always a great thing to do with the homies. It's always a great thing to do for publications, and I would never stray away from a freestyle, so yeah.
Yo, man, his rhyme straight passing my guard. Rhino always giving love like a Valentine's card. And grade 5 got those, then I fucking rock those. Then I'm gonna drop like Geronimo. My squad goes down that street and we drive with bikes. You know, we usually nice and polite, but if we light your lighter, we got something spare to light on the side. I'm just trying to spit game out the passenger side of my best friend's ride, but these scrubs just like Brillos never get a woman's sweat on the pillow or makeup. Yo, I try to fake up, but I work in the kitchen for my pay stub, and then I come here and drink my face up.
In hip hop, and something that's so personal and competitive, I think it's super important that you do it yourself. And I think if you can freestyle, that's a good way to show that you can do it yourself.
It's got more flow to it. I find that when I freestyle, I got more of like an Outkast bump to it, as opposed to when I write, I'm going for more of like a Slaughterhouse, J. Cole, Nas kind of thing.
Personally, I do a lot more writing than I do freestyling, but yeah, they both have, very integral part to what hip hop is and where it came from.